Father, we thank you now. We bless you for this time in your word. We thank you, Lord God, for this month's commitment that we're committed to financial wisdom. And so tonight, Father, we bless and we speak great grace upon our teacher, Nick, tonight as he teaches us and instructs us in the way of finance. God, you said that the children of this world were wiser than the children of light. And God, we want revelation. We want understanding when it comes to the systems of this world and how money functions. So we thank you for our instructor tonight. We thank you for this time of impartation. We bless you for a great grace and a great future that lies ahead for us. That as we prepare, we see the days coming that we'll be prepared for what is ahead of us. We thank you now, God, for generational wealth that's going to be built unto our children's children, according to your word. For you said that a good man leaves an inheritance unto his children's children. And we believe you for that now, God. But God, not only are we going to look for the miracles, we're going to look for the discipline. So God, we thank you for our instruction tonight, and we bless you now in Jesus' name. Amen. So everybody, let's give God a big hand of praise for Nick being with us tonight. Amen. We praise God for him being with us. To our Impact family who's joining us online, we thank you for joining us. And Nick, it is your time, brother. Amen. God bless you.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Another Thursday night. We here assembled together here. So, first of all, I want to go over a little bit, I guess recap a little bit what we went over the other week. Can't say last week. 2 weeks ago when we did that. Did anybody bring back something that they wanted to expound on that I might have went over, or something that you guys wanted? Because the reason I always say that, because I don't want this to be so generic. I want it to be an overview type thing, but I want you guys to really get some meat out of it. I want you to ask some questions that I feel like are very, very, very necessary for you to utilize for your own personal and daily activity. But what is something you guys might have thought about from this past couple weeks that we've been out? What is something you guys want to maybe venture into before I get started? Anything specific on that end? Anything specific? Anything specific? So if not, it's okay. We're gonna roll with it. I want to preface this though, this portion of it, and talk about management. Excuse me. First of all, do you guys understand the sole definition of management? You understand? Okay, that's a good one. Who else? Who else want to take a stab at it? Management. What do you feel like is your view of management? What do you think? Okay, good. That's a good answer. Good answer. That's a good answer. What else? Who else? It's just what your thoughts are. It's not like it's just a definite right answer, but what are your thoughts? What is your view on management? What do you think? Be responsible.
Being responsible of God is something I'm kind of working toward an outcome.
Okay, yeah, working toward a common goal, common outcome. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's actually great answers. Anybody else? I just want to see what your views are, because I want to make sure I tackle what you're thinking, because I think we got to get the mindset correct in order to move forward, right? Because none of this is going to be worthwhile if you can't get your mindset work toward it. Y'all agree that?
Amen.
All right. So your attitude toward management is what's effective. Did you get you give her? Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So real simple, guys. Now this is mine. Now this is not the perfect way. Y'all gave some great scenarios and things like that. but the effective use and distribution of resources. Right? The effective use and distribution of resources. Now, your attitude toward your resources that you have, right? Which is your finances, right? Your money, right? The check that you get, your attitude toward your money. So you think about, how do you feel about your money? Do you think the tool or the resource that you have is able to liberate you from your stresses or struggles, things like that, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now, we are in the church, and one of the biggest hindrances I come across when I do these presentations, because I've been doing these a couple of years now, is the conversation that we are having in the church about money and about finances. We view it as something negative. You understand that? When we talk about money, we freeze up.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
We get stuck. Oh, I want to talk about money, blah, blah, blah. All the scripture in the Bible about the money laid up for the wicked and, all the scriptures that they have, right? Yeah, I'm being honest, right?
Yeah.
They go to talking about how bad it is, and all that type of stuff. But if you understand, money was a simple tool or a resource for us to use, right? Just like anything else. Your hand is a resource for you to use.
Mm-hmm.
Your eyes is a resource for you to use, right? All of these things is to help build up God's kingdom, no matter what, how you use it, right? So we gotta, and the reason I'm saying this, guys, is because the attitude you have towards your money is what makes you understand how to effectively do and discipline yourselves to this, what I just showed you guys. That makes sense?
Yeah.
All right, so I just want to preface that because I want you guys to understand where I'm going with this tonight. Now, I asked for a task for you guys the first session was to do this, and I'm going to see who did it.
Oh, Lord. Lord.
I'm going to see who did it, right?
Oh, I got my homework.
I know, right? So did anyone write down their daily spending expenses, like the dollars? Did anybody write it down? Nobody wrote it down, right?
No.
All right.
I tell you what I did do. I tell you what I did do.
What you did?
I went to cash only, like you said.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I put myself on, if I got $25 in my pocket,
Okay.
I can't pull out the plastic.
Okay, all right.
And so I did that, and that was interesting.
Okay,
It was interesting. I didn't sit it right down.
But you did go to cash.
Bracket myself in and say, don't do this unless it's something you've already got in my little budgeting app that I'm supposed to pay for. There
you go. All right, okay. All right, that's good. Now, guys, the reason I wanted you to do that because the experience that you have doing it, right? That's it. You understand? Once that money gone, it's gone. Don't pull out that plastic. It's gone, right? So I wanted you guys to get that feeling of consistently in the discipline of doing it. So I pulled this up, and how do I get on the TV? No, it's okay. So now I'm gonna show you guys. This is generic format. Who hasn't seen a budgeting structure before? Y'all have seen the whole budgeting structure. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna go over this just to show you this, but this is not to spend any time on, but it's just to show you where I'm going with this. And then we're gonna go into some scenarios tonight, and we're gonna put some rubber to the road. All right, so you guys have seen something similar to this before, right? Y'all probably seen something similar to this. So the thing about it is, you got housing, you got taxes, you got insurance, you got savings, investment, you got living expenses, right? So all that is part of a pie of your check. So whatever your check is when it comes in, right? Whatever that money is, you shouldn't be spending over 30%. So if you get $3,000, you shouldn't be spending over $300 in housing expenses, right? That's what they say, right? That's what they say, right? Right? I know, right? Living expenses, savings, investment, insurance, and taxes, right? So we have to understand what's applicable to our spending habits. you guys this generically to understand where we're going with this, right? Now, just like you break down the savings and investments. Now, of course, 10% of your tithes, right? You have to take that off the top. Right. Learn how to pay this stuff first, right? That's always important. And then, like I said, 26% in the living expense. Now, this actually goes together, guys, and people ask me about this. This actually kind of goes together. This 56%, it actually kind of goes together. Because the living expenses, housing, and debt, it actually kind of goes together. So that type of thing. And then, of course, like I said, most people in the 25% tax bracket, more than likely 25%. And, of course, your insurance. Now, we're going to go over both portions of those, the insurance and investment portion, because I want you guys to understand how important that is, right? But I'm going to get to that. Now, when you get to this part, and we're talking about going into living expenses and housing and debt, when you start off life, structurally, you start off life and you're going to get, your job, right? Get your job, occupation, career, whatever case might be. Do you have a set goal of how much you truly want to make on an annual basis? Do you have a set goal for that?
Yeah, in my mind.
Okay, okay.
In your mind, but that don't make it reality.
Okay, all right, cool, that's fine. That's fine. What's up, bro? You got Pastor, you own it, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's right. All right, so there you go. That's right. That's right. That's a good one, man. That's a huge one. All right. So we're talking about normal budgeting when it comes to that. So that's, here nor there. But I want you guys to do this. Now, when we go in detail and talk about this later on, guys, because individually, guys, when y'all set aside, because we're going to attack this individually too, because I want to handle your personal situation. Y'all got that? Mm-hmm. We're going to do all this night up on here, but I want to handle your personal situation and understand where you are and where you want to go for tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. Does everybody here have kids? Everybody have kids? Pretty much? Everybody got kids? Okay, all right. So, oh, you don't? Oh, okay. Y'all two don't? Okay, cool. That's great. Take your time. But you definitely, what I want you to allude to is start getting yourself in the habit of putting yourself on a budget plan. Like real talk. Like this is probably one of the most valuable things you're gonna get out of this presentation is the fact of putting yourself on a budget. And be consistent with it. Now, the reason I said set goals is I'm talking about lifestyle goals. Because if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to be disciplined enough to do that. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Now, when I go on to this financial calculator, I'm going to this in a minute and show y'all what I mean by how much money we lose by being undisciplined, right? And the reason I ask about kids because we are throwing away money that our kids could be benefiting from. We talk about generational wealth. We talk about leaving an inheritance. We talk about doing all these things. We probably can do that with the resources we currently have. We're just not managing them correctly. Oh, wow. Y'all got it? Wow. All right. So, and with the whole budget structure, it's going to allow you to be able to have a system for your family to pass down generation after generation after generation. Right? Now, I'm going to give y'all a scenario, and I'm going to fast forward. I actually seen my aunt one time when I was young. I was probably like 19 years old, maybe 20. My little cousin, he was getting a car. He was 16, turned 16 or something like that. He wanted this Caprice Classic, back in the day, everybody wanted the box Chevy, the Caprice, you know what I mean, whatever. So anyway, we went to the dealer, and I seen this other car sitting out here, Nissan Altima, right? Nissan Altima was pretty popular back in the day, but it had some hail damage on the top. And I said, Earl, why you want this car, man? It's a nice car. Why you want the old school stuff, man? Get you a new car, man. And I don't want that. So anyway, the guy came, looked at it, blah, blah, whatever, and asked, did he like it? My auntie was there, right, which is his grandma, right? She said, how much the car cost? It cost like $12 grand, right? 12, 9, or something like that. I don't know what it was. So she asked, do you want the car? Like, yeah. So she stroked a check. Just like that, 12 grand. I was 19 when I seen this, right? So I'm getting to somewhere when I tell you this now. stroked the check, 12 grand. I'm like, and she left. Like, seriously, I seen her do this. She wrote the check. She sat there and said, y'all deal with the paperwork. I'm going outside. So I said, I scratched my head. I said, wait a minute now. So how does that work? I never understood that, right? Because I always knew, okay, how much the down payment, how much you got to pay down, what's your monthly, blah, 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 right? I didn't even know that was even possible. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I seen that, it changed my mindset. It said, okay, so you don't have to have a car note. So you don't have to be stressed out about making this monthly payment for the rest of your life and all that type of stuff, right? So I said, man, that's a different way of living. You see what I'm saying? It's a different way of living when it's like that. I just didn't know it was possible, right? My attitude toward money, right, was if you like this car, you need to ask them how much can you afford a month, right? And if I can afford that a month, I can purchase it, right? I never knew you could strike a check and buy a car. Wow. Now, it changed, like I said, it changed my mindset, right? It put me in a different place. Now, this is the thing too. And I'm getting to this part, what I'm saying. It's saving an investment. I sat down with a client last night. Two young lady, young guy. Young lady, young guy. And sat down with them, and I talked to them. I said, did y'all? They said, yeah, I went over the whole presentation with them, blah, blah. They said, yeah, it looked familiar, blah, blah. I said, okay. I said, well, what happened? Why y'all didn't sign up with the guy, the other financial advisor? Because she said her dad had a financial advisor. I said, oh, well, that's great. This is going to be a breeze, right? So she said, the guy never got back with me or anything like that. I said, well, why is that? Y'all got the money, apparently, right? Y'all can set up your family or whatever. She said, he never got back with me. I said, I'm going to tell you why. So I'm going to just be real frank about it. You don't have enough money for him to be your advisor. Oh, wow. I said, think about this. Y'all can test me on this if you want to, if you choose to now. Go to Edward Jones, go to Merrill Lynch, go to Charles Schwab. You go to all these companies, right? You don't have $250,000, $300,000, they don't want to talk to you. So what's left for to help our families, our community, to be able to get that type of help? What's left, right? Now, they could budget out $600 out their budget, right? Right? They could budget out $600. They got to start somewhere, right? They young. They were 27. Got decent career starting out, right? Both of them got decent jobs. One of them got a master's degree. The other one had a bachelor's, working for state and stuff like that. Doing pretty well for themselves. Got one little boy, doing pretty well, right? So why would this financial advisor want to help them? He's not getting paid to do that, right? So if he don't get paid to do that, that leaves that family right susceptible to just whatever happens in life. Right, without the information, right? Because with the information, right, they can do something with it. Because after I showed them and I explained to them, put a plan, oh yeah, makes perfect sense, right? Now I got somebody to work with, right? Have information. That same book that I gave y'all is a compliment what I showed them. Same exact book, same exact thing. Understanding where they was, and like I said, we're gonna go into a little bit more detail, but understanding where you're going, right? So I wanted to tell you guys, this is real life situation that we're dealing with. Don't feel bad about where you are, right? Feel bad if you don't discipline yourself to take advantage of the opportunity now. Y'all got it? All right, y'all got it. All right, cool. So let's get into this. All right, so I'm gonna go through this book, but I want you guys scenarios. I'm gonna give you guys a couple scenarios here. Like I said, we're gonna talk about real life situations. So, talking about getting out of debt, things like that. Now, let's set up the account. So go to I think it's the 4th page on the book. Talk about paying yourself first. So emergency funds, short-term savings, and long-term savings. Right? Let's go to that. So we got we got 3 accounts. All right. Now, now I'm going to go through these and show you guys the purpose of these accounts, right? Now, when I show you guys the purpose of them, you're going to understand why you should do it. All right? All right. So, you get your check, and you got this 15% that's left, right? We're going to use that 15% that we budgeting out, right? We're going to take that 15% out, right? Now, that 15%, we're going to break it up into these three accounts. Now, just from your guys right now, just looking at this, why do you think you need a mercy fund, a short-term, and long-term? Why do you think you need three accounts? Just give me your take on why you think you need it. Why you think you need three?
I'll tell you what my mistake is. If
Okay.
I have it all in the same account, it all commingles.
Okay. All mixes in. Okay.
Yeah.
You can vouch for that, right? Okay.
Look, and I used to wonder why my mom used to have this money here, this
Yep.
money. Now I know.
Yep, that's right. That's right. All right. All right. So co-mingling with money, right? All right. Who else? Who else think they got? What do you think? Why do you need three accounts like that? Why do you need a mercy fund, short-term, long-term?
You need a mercy fund or something happen, you go to that and it won't kill you.
Gotcha. Okay. That's right. That's right. What else?
Short-term savings is like if you want to go on vacation or something like that. You
That's
know,
right.
go and go stash that way.
Okay. Okay. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Long-term savings is just savings.
That's right. Okay. Long term. That's right. That's right. All right. So that's great. So I just want to see where I'm at. So when I'm working with y'all, right now, mercy fund. I'm going to a little bit more detail with this because it's going to help you guys understand why it's so important. Now, mercy fund is this. You ever heard of these things called credit cards? I hurt my tongue when I said it. I just don't like it. So the reason you want to get a mercy fund because that's something you don't want to get in the habit of living off credit, right? Now I tell people a lot of times, and I even talked to a lot of athletes, right, professional athletes that made millions of dollars, because I really want to understand how in the heck you guys mismanage this money like this, like how y'all end up like Ben Baker and other guys that end up just broke and y'all made millions of dollars, right? One of the things is they're living off credit too much. Right? You guys don't think that they're living off a lot of credit, right? That's an issue. So what a mercy fund allows you to do is build this thing up just in case you get into, like you said, like a mercy, right? You need a tire on your car, or kids got a mercy bill you got to pay. One of them got sick or something like that, right? You want to build this bad boy up in order to not dip into these two accounts, right? I'm gonna give you a case scenario in the church. Who have ever had to help somebody with a funeral? Right? So you end up going into your 401k or other retirement plan and stuff like that in order to help out, right? Now, it's a problem, right? So now, what is that doing? That's taking away, right, from your future, right? Now, think about it is this starts a cycle. Now, think about it. Start a cycle. Now, you got the kids trying to take care of the parents because the parents didn't properly prepare for their future. Now, they taking more money out of their income trying to pay for the parents. You know what I'm saying? Not being responsible enough to do the right things, right? And sometimes life happens, but we got to understand why this is important in order to focus on it, right? So, when we talk about focusing on this a mercy fund, how much you think you need to say I got a pretty stout mercy fund? Like how much you think is a pretty good amount just to set aside? How much you think is a pretty good amount? Say 2 months? Okay. That's what it's saying? Okay. About 2 months? Okay. That's right. That's right. All right. No, that's fine. So what I want you guys, because I don't want you guys to fall short of understanding this now, I want you to at least have $500, right? At least, I'm saying start there, right? Now, Pastor's on point when he said have 2 months, right? But I'm going to allude to something else when I go into that, right? So now, the mercy fund itself, let's start with $500. Just start with it, right? Now, you want to grow it and build it because I want you guys to be excited about accomplishing something. That's what I'm going with that, right? Right, exactly. Obtainable, right? So if you put $500 back and you put it into, now, you gotta understand this too. Now, we was talking about the simple card. I don't know if y'all want to look at that or whatever, or whatever tool y'all want to use, right? But don't have it commingling together, right? Have it separate, right? I wouldn't even say have it at the same bank, to be honest with you. Because y'all gonna do is go on y'all app and transfer it to the other. That's all you gonna do. You gonna exactly, it's easy, right? So, cause as soon as you see something in dealers and they got a sale on it, I can transfer this money over and they'll be on. Yeah, I'll put it back later, right? So that's why I want it'll discourage you, right, from actually spending money like that, right? Kind of go from there. So I want you guys to start with 500, right? Just start there. Now, when you fill this up and you got 500 in here, right? I want you to transition over to here to your short-term account. Now, let's talk about this short-term account. Now, this short-term account is to help you with a couple of different things, right? And you will see it's listed on your sheet there. One of the most, I think, expensive is paying off your car. Like I said, if you lose your job, to carry you over, things you want to pay off. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what that is for, right? Somebody said vacation. I think someone said vacation. That's a good one. If you want to take a vacation, be able to do that. Now, when you do that with your short-term account, now how much money do you think you should put in there? How much you think you should put in there? Say 500. Okay, at least 500. Okay. Who else? What you think?
I'm talking a vacation, so if I'm sitting on vacation, I can go about 25, $3.
Okay, all right. 2,500, 3,000. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I mean, you're saving to start out at 500 and then build up as you get. I thought you were talking about how much you think you ought to be there. You talking about starting out.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about how much should be there, but it's okay. It's okay. That's how you want it. It's okay. That's fine. What you say? What you say? You say 3,000 more? Okay. All right. Anybody else? So that number is good, but it's also dependent upon your income, right? I want you guys to understand this, right? Now, if and Pastor already talking about having 2 months of your expenses, right? Try to do it income-wise. Whatever your monthly income is, try to have at least 3 to 6 months in it, whatever that is, right? If it's 4,000, try to have 12,000. That's right, right? Hey, that's the point.
It ain't no stretch, it's a mind.
There you go. Now you talking. That's how that. But really,
when he said that amount, it went to like, who ain't gonna ever be able to.
That's right. That's right.
See, if you don't think like that,
That's right. So what? And I'm getting to exactly what you saying with that. So 3 months income, and like you said, you think it's a stretch, right? But if you go somewhere with me, and I can show you, it's really not a stretch if you discipline yourself to do it, because I guarantee you find some money that you spending you should be spending. I'm telling you now. So 3 months is fine, but like I said, if you want to get real good with it, 3 to 6 months, right? You want to be able to build that up as much as possible. Now the next thing, of course, is long-term savings, and that's more dealing with your retirement plans, things like that, right? You want to be able to have your retirement plan. But like I said, this is lifestyle, how you want your lifestyle to be, right? How you want to be as far as your comfort level in your lifestyle. Do you want to be comfortable enough to say, okay, if something does happen, my wife loses her job, or my husband loses his job, or whatever, okay, my kids, I had to stay at home, my kid gets sick or something like that. I want to be established enough to be able to handle those situations, right? Life happens to everybody. Everybody. How you prepare for it is the biggest thing, right? So you have to understand that these three boxes right here are going to really change your mindset of how you think about money. that's what we do be thinking. Right? It's a stretch for us to get, oh my goodness, that's impossible. So when you leave out these four walls, you're just gonna go to work, come home, and you ain't gonna even try it. You ain't gonna even think about it. Like, that's for the other people. That ain't really for me. Right? I'm telling you. So we gotta get our mindset wrapped around the fact that we can do this, right? So y'all got that part, right? Y'all cool with that? Anybody got any questions about that? Anybody got any objections or want to go any further into that? Right? Anything? All right. So now we're talking about long-term savings. Y'all go to the next page. Say it pays to start investing early. So let's go to that. So if you see at the bottom, don't pay the high cost of waiting. Right? Now, at the age of 25, we're talking about saving $89 and $224, $602, $1,900, things like that. So when you actually saving your money, at the age of 25, look at the second column with the orange, where it's orange right there. So the sooner you begin to save, the greater growth on your retirement, on your investment. So if you're 25 years old and you start saving $100 at a 9% rate of return, by the time you turn 67, you got $567,000, $66,000, right? That's $500,000, right? If you wait 1 year, you lose $50,000. Now, just think back in your head. Can I afford to lose 50 grand for $100? That's what it's saying. You actually lose 50 grand because you didn't save $100. If you look at that right way. So don't understand that calculation. Now, does it make sense to put away $25 a week? We losing 50 grand, right? Let's wait to 30. At the age of 30, you got 357, but you done lost 200,000. Right? Now, when I showed that client that last night, they was like, ain't no way in heck. Right? We not saving $100 a month. Like, there's no way. Right? We got to make sure this happens. Right? And I said, if you wait to 40, you're going to lose $429,000. Guys, our fortune is in the fact that the information that we're not being given, right, is we're not disciplining ourselves. That's where our fortune lies. Right? So we got to get better at that. So now, who want to save $100 a month? Everybody, right? Everybody do, right? All right, go to the next page. We're going to talk about the Rule of 72. Did I talk to y'all a little bit about this last time? A little bit? I didn't? Okay, all right. So we're going to go into detail about this, all right? So the power of compounding interest. Go to the next page where you see at the bottom it say, do you know the Rule of 72? Now, the Rule of 72 is something very, very simple, but I guarantee the babies back there can learn this very, very easily. Now, if I gave you $10,000 today and told you got to save it somewhere, what would you save it? 10 grand. You got to save it somewhere. Where would you go? Put it in the bank, right? Who else? CD? Okay, good. CD, bank. Who else? All right, who else? 10 grand. Anywhere else would you go? Where else would you go? Any other places? Gotta save, you can't spend it. Gotta save it. Anything else? Okay, all right. Okay. Who else? That's the only else y'all got, man. All right. CD. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's hear that. Okay. All right. All right. 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 And I'm glad you said that though. That's a good conversation we're gonna have. All right. So the Rule of 72, y'all see that on there, right? So the Rule of 72 says you divide whatever your interest rate is, right? Who y'all bank with? Commonwealth don't bank. Who y'all bank with? Regions, right? So now the Rule of 72 says you divide whatever your interest rate by the number 72, and it tells you how many years it takes for your money to double and grow. Right? So now the average CD today is less than 2%. Right? So 3 divided by 72 is 24, right? So that 10 grand that you put in the bank, right, is going to take you 24 years to double to 20,000. Take 24 years just to double to 20,000. Now, does that sound like an exciting answer to give now? It doesn't. But the majority will do it. Why? Education, right? Who wasn't informed, who wasn't told, right? Now, the next thing is, and this is on your sheet now, 6%, 6 divided 72 is 20, what is it? What is that? 12, that's right. I'm going 12, right? So now every 12 years, it doubles, right? A little better, right? Still not as good, a little better, right? But what if you can get a better rate of return on your money? Say around 12%, right? Now it doubles every 6 years. Now, have you ever got a car loan? You got a car loan before, right? Yeah. The interest rate been over 12% before? Yeah. Has been over 12? Yeah. How long was the car loan? 5 to 6 years, right? So they doubled their money because they sold you that. And your car's worth less after those 6 years than when you purchased it. But they doubled their money. You see what I'm saying? So it works against you as well as it works for you. Right? So now, is it important to learn the rules of the game? This room should be packed. Free information. This room should be packed. And see, this is what I want y'all to understand. This is what I'm talking about management. We don't even want to take the time to learn how to manage something that we work for every single day. Right. So I'm telling you, being in a group setting like this is very special because you're learning something that you need. You see what I'm saying? This you can use, right? So now it pays to so let's play this out. Pastor just talked about leaving an inheritance for his children, right? So money is one of the inheritances that you can't leave, right? So let's talk about that. So let's talk about leaving that money at 12%. So let's just say you left your child 10 grand when he died, right? And I'm sorry, when not no, yeah, the other way around, right? So granddad left you 10 grand when he passed, right? Granddad left, right, exactly. So granddad left you 10 grand, but guess what? Granddad was smart enough to say, you know what? I'm gonna get a financial advisor to allow this to leave for my kids, because I ain't gonna allow y'all to mess it up. So I'm gonna take the 10 grand, I'm gonna leave with y'all financial advisor. So at the age of 6, you got 20 grand. You got 40 grand at the age of 12. You got 80 grand at the age of 18. Now, I'm going to stop right there for a minute. Imagine you being 18 years old and you got $80,000. Think about it now. So you 18 years old and you got 80 grand. Now, I told the last session I had with another group, I said and we got to stop doing this too. This is another thing, a side note. We got to stop pushing our kids to go to college. If they're not going for a particular profession, they do not need to go. Let's just be real about it now. Do not make kids feel bad. They might want to start their own business, right? That's fine. Give them the option to do that. Because guess what? The person who got the degree going to get hired by the business owner anyway. Think about it. You go get straight A's, go get a degree, whatever the case might be, and this guy got a business that he wants you to come work for and make you put a resume in to come work for him. Think about it. I'm telling you, right? So we gotta understand. So we gotta stop doing that. Right? That's right. Because they hire the ones with them. They go to Harvard. They got friends that make sure they send their kids so they can hire their kids once they come out of school. It's a system. It's a system. That's what it's for. I don't know nothing about it. Let's take this mic for instance. I don't know nothing about this mic, but I can hire somebody that be able to do whatever I need to do to it, right? Right. Put a new whatever in it, the technician and all that type of stuff, right? I don't have to know nothing about it. Think about it. Right? So, if my kid is smart enough, my child is smart enough to do something like that, I want to go do that. I want him to go do that. Just because he didn't go get a college degree don't make him an idiot. It don't make him less valuable. because he didn't go get a college degree. We got to stop that, right? So learn your kids' creativity. Like, learn what they really want to do. Like, some of the skill sets they want to do. I got a cousin, and I'm going to get back to that. I got a cousin that was real good at cars. Like, this guy could take a car, strip it all the way down. He the first one I seen with the shades off the door handles and put the remote door so you can push the button and the door pop open. You know, the little low riders and stuff like that when they was doing back in the day? He was 19 years old doing that. He's 19. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm serious. He was 19 doing that, and I just couldn't. I was like, man, this is stuff. I used to get this magazine called Lowrider magazine. It was in California. That's what it was for. From the you remember that, right? But the lowriders be bouncing up and down and all that type of stuff. He would strip the car all the way down. He did all that type of stuff, and I was just amazed. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't go to college for it or nothing. He just was real skillful at it. You know what I mean? So I thought that was awesome, man. But anyway, let's get to this. All right, so 18, you got 80 grand. So now the age of 24, you got 160. Now the age of 30, you got 320. Now at the age of 36, you got 640. Now at the age of 42, you got $1.2 million. Now I'm gonna start right there. Now, if you got $1.2 million at 42 and you ain't put a dime in this, now this is on your granddad left you, right? And you talking about your 401k, you talking about your IRA. I'm talking about this is something your granddad left you, right? So at this point, you 42 years old and you got $1.2 million. How does that create the lifestyle for you? And how does this keep generating more wealth? See, this is called a Rockefeller syndrome because this is what the Rockefellers did with insurance. They made sure they did, right? They talk about the Rockefellers and how they built their wealth. They built it off insurance, off generational wealth. They continued it on. They bought life insurance, $1 million policies, right? Made sure they put their policy paid for itself. But they just did that on something happened. They did that and bought another one. That's it.
So when you say built off insurance, so when somebody dies, they basically set up the next generation.
Yep. They set the next generation up.
So
even if they don't.
Say if I got 5 kids, 4 kids, okay, and I give them, I die and leave them 10,000 a piece, and they don't touch it, right?
Yep.
So by the time they come of age, they're at 1.2 million. They automatically go ahead and set something for their children.
Now it's a cycle.
Continues to roll.
Yep.
So you end up taking a portion from that hole that you got left,
yep,
to set the next generation.
Yep. That's it. That's right. No, this 12. So yeah, this is 12. So this doubling every 6 years, right?
Oh, that's 12.
Right. Yeah, this 12. Yeah, this is at 12. So what this is double. Now I ain't gonna go any farther because you know you get 48, 2.4, and you keep continue on, right?
If you got that kind of money, you can bargain with your percentage.
Right. Well, you ain't gotta do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
If you got that kind of money and you can bargain with your percentage, the amount will determine your percentage. If you're
that credit work.
Right.
Let's start at $10,000. Put it in the bank, right? 12% interest. Not touching it.
Yep. And honestly, and to be quite honest with you, it's probably gonna be more than this. I'm gonna be real wide. This is and I was gonna pull up some, but I don't know. I'm probably got time tonight. But I was gonna put up some of my actual clients' accounts, right? Not show the name, but show the growth of the account. Lady gave me 80 grand, and over 2 years, she made 26,000 off that 80 grand. No, I'm sorry, 24,000. It was 12. It ended up being like 12. It ended up being like 1,000 a month, basically, what she made. Once you break it down, in 2 years. 2 years. She had it 7 years. She had it sitting in a CD. 7 years in a CD. Made $1,700. 7 years, right? She gave it to me for 2 years. I made her 26 grand. 2 years, right? I can pull up and show you what the case might be, right? Do I got a client for life? You dang all right, right? So that's what I love about it. So anyway, so that's what I was saying about this. Guys, if you get to this point, right, and understand how you can, it just gives you options. That's all I'm saying. It just gives you options, right? We want to make sure that that's applicable to you. So now y'all got a question about that? I'm gonna get to what Pastor just said. If y'all ain't got no question about that, y'all got no question?
I guess my thing is how do we get to that place to where, I mean, the only way I can see right now as a black man leaving my church $10,000 is first of all, I got to die, but I got to get some good insurance before I die. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And I got to, I'm going to say, y'all just cremate me and take this 10 and hold it now. You got to be this. I mean, for real.
Right, I understand. So, and we're gonna get to where you are. So we're gonna talk about scenarios in just a second. But I want to talk about this right now. Pastor alluded to, well, I don't want to take you to the stock market. That's what you said, right? Like, I don't really know. I am scared to say that, right?
Because I just had some fears about
Okay,
it.
all right. So I'm gonna take the fear out your heart right now tonight. We're gonna snatch it out tonight, right? All right. So here we go. All right. So. Mike gonna go out. It's okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna talk this portion now, and then I flip it like that. Oh, just hold it. Okay. All right. So now, guys, do y'all have an Apple phone? iPhone? Who has an iPhone? Okay. Got an iPhone. Okay. You shop at Walmart? Okay. Shop at Walmart. Okay. Right, I know, right? Right, exactly. Do you use lotion like Johnson & Johnson or something like that? Right. But you used it, right? You did use it, right? All right. So Chevron, Exxon gas? Do y'all get gas? Y'all use gas? Okay. Verizon? Do y'all have Verizon or AT&T or some of these other companies? Okay. All right. Let me see. What else we got? Restaurants, right? Golden Flakes, General Mills. Y'all eat cereal, right? Some kids eat cereal, some like, all right. So now, are these things that you guys purchase on a daily basis? Yeah. Y'all purchase on a daily basis, right? So, wouldn't it make sense to invest in stuff that you use on a day-to-day basis? No, just period. Just would it make sense to invest in something that you on a daily basis? Right? So if I can show you how to get a rate of return on the money that you already spending, stuff that you own, it will make sense, right? So guess what? If somebody else shopping there, who else shopping there? Everybody's shopping there, right? You shopping there, right? So right, Walmart, right? So this is what I'm saying. So this is how this works, right? So Pastor, I'm gonna give you something here, right? All right. So it's all right. So let's say you got two elevators here, right? You got two elevators. You got your precious kids on this elevator, right? Now these are ropes that hold the elevator up, right? Now, this one got one rope, this one got 4 or 5, whatever case might be, right? So now, which one would you feel safer riding the elevator? The 4 or 5 one, right? Because if one of them breaks, you still got the other one supported, right? So even if it does, like, jerk, it won't fall, you know what I'm saying? Because if this one happens, what's going to happen? All right, you're done, right? So if I can invest in Walmart, if I can invest in Verizon, if I can invest in Apple, and I can, let's say, ExxonMobil, if I can invest in those things, and something happens to one of them, because like you said, oh my goodness, something's going to go bad, right? Somebody just closed all this, I think like Victoria's Secret and some other stores closed down, right? Yeah, a bunch of them, right? So if that happens, here, if that's Vicky's Secret here, all right, you gone, right? You lost your money. But if you're here, you still have the other ones to help support it. we scatter stuff that we do every day. You see what I'm saying? This is part of it, right? So I guarantee you invest in those things. Now I can go into a whole bunch of other things that we already invest in, right? The average mutual fund gets about 12%. Now this is a mutual fund because all it is a bunch of mutual companies being funded with your money, my money, everybody funding the same money, right? So like I said, I'm gonna take that fear out your heart, right? If I'm taking my money, you taking your money, we all taking our money. We scattering it toward these different investments. Now you're not investing by yourself. You're investing with all of us, right? We all invest together. But guess what we're gonna do? We all gonna take our money and we're gonna get it to some professional management group, right? And we're gonna allow them to invest in these different companies. Right? Now, if the scenario goes on like I just showed you, right? If all of these go bankrupt at one time, what's the chance of all of them going bankrupt, first of all, at one time? Slim to none, right? Right? That chair that you sat down in, I guarantee y'all didn't check them legs before you sat down in the chair. I guarantee you did. To see what one. I guarantee you sat down, right? Because it's a secure way of saying, okay, I'm going to sit down in the chair, right? It's the same thing with a mutual fund. We just haven't been taught that. It's no different. Now, who's in our community educating and teaching our families that's even an option? Because all we think of, we got to have 401k on our job to even start investing. And then if we talk about investing, we scared. Because we haven't been taught, right? The only thing, and you talk about being scared or something's risky, is you don't know about it. If you know about it, it's not, y'all heard of Warren Buffett, right? That's what he said. That's one of his main quotes. What's risky about something that you know about? Once you educate and know about, what's the risk in it? Now, I'm showing you this. You know when this happens, you already know what's going on. So what's the risk in it? Right? Yeah. I got several clients, I'm telling you, that I showed them, I was like, wow, that was simple. Why didn't I know that? Right? You just wasn't showing. It ain't like you no idiot. You just wasn't educated. So when I seen this, I was like, you know what? There's probably a lot more stuff out there that we don't know about. And we ain't even taught. So that's why I got my license, got more involved in the financial services industry, right? Because I thought it was crazy for me to keep working for this money that I don't know nothing about. Just to keep my lights on, you know, just to put gas in my car, that don't make no sense. Why should I learn about this thing that I'm working for? I work 8 to 10 hours a day, 12 to 16. Shouldn't I learn about this, right? So now, do y'all feel a little better about investing your money? A little bit better? Now, let me tell you something, right? Who got a 401k? Who has a 401k in their job? Okay, got one. So, have anybody ever broke it down to you, your 401k? If anybody ever just sat down with you and broke it down how your 401k works? It haven't, right? Why would your job want you living better when you leave than you are when you're there? Think about it. I'm just saying, just think about this. I want you to take time to think about it. Why would your job, when you leave, want you to live better than while you're actually working and actually giving them your labor? That's what I don't tell you about. Now, let me tell you where a 401k came from. 401k came from, and y'all probably remember, Pastor's a little older, so he probably remember pensions, right? I ain't saying that as a joke. You know what I mean? So pensions, right? Y'all remember that, right? Right. So pensions, guess what? They got rid of them. What job do you know has a pension plan now? Pension, yeah, pension plan. What job do you know? You don't know one, right? All right, so this is what happened. They started finding out that these people are living a little bit longer, and these young cats coming in here got these degrees. They want to get what? Paid, right? So I gotta pay these folks until they die, right? Because that's what the pension was for, right? They got to pay them until they die, right? But I got these young kids coming in that want this bread, right? So now the company said, wait a minute, now we losing money because these folks living a little longer, and I still got to pay these young cats that coming in here. So the profit, we barely making it, so we got to come up with something else. A 401k is just a tax code, right? For funding your own retirement. That's it. They take the money out your check, It ain't like it's something else. It's your check. It's your money, right? So think about this. They take the money out your check, and now they got this thing called a match program, right? So I'm gonna have the match, right? How many people matching 100%? I haven't seen but one since I've been doing it. Now, if they out there, I don't know. I ain't saying they not, right? But I haven't seen but one so far. They'll match 50%. I've seen match up to 3%. You know, I put 3%, and you know what I'm saying? I put half, so I put 1.5% in there because you put 3% in. But this is the kicker now. If you don't stay there 10 years or 5 years, it's not your money. So you feeling good about this, right? Now, think about it. Let's say you work 7 years, but the vesting schedule is a vesting schedule that they got on this thing, right? If you stay there 7 years and the vesting schedule is 10, you lost 7 years of investing your money, right? Because now your money was actually invested in something that had an interest rate that was attached to an interest rate. But if I just showed you, if your interest rate was 2%, your money ain't really growing, right? But let me tell you something. Your 401k actually does have mutual funds inside of it. Right. You only got so many options. You probably got like 20 options, right? And those 20 options are probably the crappiest funds out there. I'm gonna tell you why it's the crappiest funds, right? Because all I'm trying to do is satisfy you to get you in the door. You don't know nothing about 401k. It's not your thing. What you gonna know about is this job and this position, right? I need you to do exactly what you need to do for X amount of hours and go home, right? So I'm gonna entice you in by saying we got a 401k, because most of everybody say what when they go to a job? Does it have what? Benefit. 401k benefits, right? Every single job you go to, I guarantee when you went in the interview, you asked them, what's the benefits? So that was to entice you to say, I got a 401k. Now, the business owner, guess what he gets to do? Write it off on his taxes. He's the business owner. So I can give it to you to fund yourself, and I get to write you off for taxes. All right? Now, I was going to get into that the next time because the last lady was here. She wanted to talk about some business type stuff or whatever. She was here. I want to talk about that. But because that affects you as far as taxes is concerned, right? So what I'm saying is, even you got a 401k, you need help with that 401k, right? Don't feel bad about saying, okay, I need somebody to scrub this thing down, because if I'm gonna put my money in, I need to know what I'm putting my money in. You know what I'm saying? And that's important. But the thing about it, you can't go to Charles Schwab and Edward Jones talking like that, though. See, this is what we fear, right? This is what we don't have enough of, right? We don't have enough of financial advisors helping our families scrub those things down and say, okay, well, what's your name? Yolanda. Say, Yolanda, I see you got a 401k here. Cause I'm telling you, I'm not telling you what I heard. This is what I did. When I first started financial service, this is one of the first things I did. I got my life insurance, of course, but the first thing I did was, I said, man, how did my 401k work? He scrubbed it down for me. He spent 2 hours with me and scrubbed that thing down for me. And my 401k, and I used to take it with me, I don't know where it said, it went from 4% to 22%. Just because he understood what to do with it. And matter of fact, one of my providers, Fidelity, y'all ever heard of Fidelity before? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's one of my providers that we have, right? So Fidelity is God, I've only been around years, but anyway, they got some great funds inside of it. Yeah, they're great funds. So but I didn't know what the funds were, right? I didn't know what, so he dissected, showed me everything, diverse my portfolio, blah, blah, all that good stuff. But he didn't have to do that. He didn't get paid to do that. If I would have went to Edward Jones or it would say, hey, look, you got $1,500? I'll do it then. You ain't got $1,500, I can't help you. So you gonna see what from 4 to 22%? Yeah, really. And I laminated it, and I moved from Birmingham, I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, that's one of my providers. I use Fidelity as one of my companies. I use Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, AXA, Lake Mason, a couple different ones. Yeah, so it's a bunch of them. So it just depends on where you want to go. American Funds is great too. That's one of the better ones. I don't know if y'all heard of American Funds before. They're actually great. Awesome. So now, anybody got any questions about that before we get to the next portion? Any questions? All right, we're gonna move right along. All right, next thing. Go to the next page and say debt stacking. We're going to talk about that real quick. Talk about debt stacking. So we got to find this bread. All right, go to debt stacking. It should be on the, I got no page on the bottom.
It's on the back of the next one.
Yeah, on the back of the next page, yep. So go past bad news about compounding interest. We ain't got to talk about that. I just kind of went over that. We'll talk about debt stacking. All right, so I want you guys to individualize that. So on the debt stacking page, when you guys are looking at that, when you put your bills together, and have you guys ever went through a debt stacking program before? You ever did? Okay. Okay. All right. So let's talk about that a little bit. So, and it's amazing how this works, but it don't work if you don't look at this every week. It don't work. If you don't look at this every week, it don't work. I'm just being real about it. So on your sheet, it says you have a retail card. I'm gonna try to draw a little bit of this up. So you have a retail card, you have a credit card, you have a car loan, you have another credit card, and you have a mortgage. We're just gonna talk about those 5, right? Now, when you got these typical 5 accounts, right? And this is what they call revolving debt, of course. We ain't talking about your light bill and all that type of stuff. We're talking about revolving debt. So, you got your retail card, credit card, and car loan. Now, most people tell you to do what? When you try to pay things off, what they most of the time tell you? Pay the small one off first. Okay, that's good. What else? What they most of the time tell you? What would you logically say that you want to do when you're talking about paying off debt? Pay off credit cards first. Okay. Good one. I'm looking for one, though. One particular one. Lower your interest rate. Get like refinance or something like that. Okay. I'm looking for one particular thing, though. We most times say, I used to hear this when I was younger.
Get another job.
Kind of, but not that, right? Almost, close, right? I always say pay more on to that. We're not taking out a loan, but actually pay more on it, yeah. Pay more on it, right? They say pay more, just pay more on it. Yeah, exactly. So what I learned was when you pay more on it, you gotta learn how to get to the principal, right? Because that's what you want. It ain't the interest, right? You want to get to the principal, right? And I used to do this little ice cream thing that I used to show them how you want to get down to the cream or the cone. Like you want to get down to the cone, you got to slice it. You know what I'm saying? You got to get inside of it. You got to leak it out. But we're going to go by this illustration, right? So when you're paying on to these things, you take all your extra money and you pay that thing off, right? Because it's better to pay things off faster, right? So I want you to target this one account, right? Now, what do you think you do for the other 4 accounts? You'll pay on, right? What you think you do? Pay the minimums, right? So you pay the minimums on each one of these, each time. Now watch this now. If you pay the minimum on each one of these, no matter what, you got this retail card, you're going to pay it off, right? So it says $220 that you was paying. Now they're going to pay that off, right? Now, if you pay that retail card off, what do most people do? They add it. Yep, and go back in debt, right? Put it on the next one. That's right. So, all right. So now what you're doing, you're starting stacking a snowball effect, what Dave Ramsey called it, a snowball effect, right? You take the same $220 you was already paying, and you put it down on the next one. Now, ladies, just because you got $220 extra, I don't need you going out. And give you some more house on because you got $200, right? You got a new purse, right? We don't need to do that, right? Fellas, we don't need to go get no new shoes, right? Because we got $200 extra. Right? Well, I know, right? So now let's move on. But now you got that $220. Now instead of paying $220, you paying instead of paying $353. You paying $573 on your next bill. So guess what you're gonna do with that? You're gonna pay it off a lot faster because you got more money that's being paid on it, right? But guess what? If you look at the little gray box at the bottom, you still ain't paid no extra money. Still the same money that you was paying, right? So basically what you did was rearrange how you paid your bills. The problem is we telling folks with bill collector telling us how to pay the bill. We ain't trying to tell them. It's your bill. You pay it like you want to pay it, right? Now, the next thing is you do the car loan the same way. You take the $573. Now you paying $1,100 on your car. Same money. Whole lot quicker. That's right, right? Now you continue on. We're gonna fast forward. Continue on down to the mortgage. Now you paying $2,720 on your mortgage. So you paying everything on your mortgage, right? But get this. This is where it came into play with me. If you go down to the box and say without debt stacking and with debt stacking. Without debt stacking, you would have paid this thing off in 23 years. With debt stacking, you paid it off in 9 years. Right? Now, the interest avoided was $130,000. Now, interest paid, you paid $83,000 in interest, but you still had made the same monthly payments each month. Now, if it took you 10 years to discipline yourself to own a house, right? Be able to build you a nest egg of money and avoid $130,000. Now you understand what I'm saying? Why I said this up in the beginning, talking about the attitude of managing your finances? Why the lifestyle is important? Because if we blowing $130,000 over 10 years, that's why our wealth is at. That's right. So this is what I'm saying. Just because the latest iPhone come out, the latest Samsung come out, I told you guys last time, I still got the, I think it's the 8 or something. I don't even know what that is. But I learned my lesson because I was a technology guru. It wasn't a phone that came out I wasn't going to get. I'm just being honest about it. I was getting every last one of them. Now they come out with the S10, I think, Plus or something like that, right? I would have the phone. I was the pre-order guy. I was getting it before it even hit the... I'm telling you. I'm just letting you know. I was like that. But I understood when I started having my kids, I understood what I needed to do long term. And I understood when I seen something like this, the money I would be losing if I continued that concept, if I continued that process, right? And they're going to look at Daddy like, Daddy, why you ain't, X, Y, Z? Nope. I'm not going to do it. I'm just being real about it. Because what I'm telling you guys is the attitude towards your managing your money is what got to change. I can sit there and preach about this all day. But the reason I'm showing you this because your attitude has to change towards this one yourself, towards your money. Now the fact that you've seen that, now it's up to you to use it, right? Now you're going to mess up with it. I'm just going to be real. When I first started doing it, you might mess up with it a little bit. Things happen. You go through a crunch at your job. Things like that happen. But that's the whole purpose of the mercy fund and things like that, right? And I'm going to talk about another thing too, probably the next session we have, about how you make your money. I think that's important too. All right, let's go to the next one. We're going to move on. We're going to fast forward. We're going to be done. We're going to get up out of here. So we're going to talk about scenarios here. Talk about some scenarios here. I want this to apply to your life because people think they can't reset their life and move on and go to the next point. So when you're talking about an average, we're talking about budgeting and things like that. So let's just say the ideal thing to do, right? When you are, when you finish college, when you 23, 22, depending on how long, about 22, 23, right? So let's just say you get married around the age of 25, and I think, and I'm working with, Pastor Brown will implement this too, I think working with some people, when you go through marriage counseling, managing your finances needs to be a session in that counseling. It needs to be a session in that, right? They need to actually sit down and talk about the future and where they want to go, right? Give them the option to understand where they want to go, right? All right. So I'm going to say the average 25-year-old, and what I'm doing is I'm giving y'all a scenario. I want you guys feedback because I want you guys to understand where I'm going and where we're going to go from here, right? So the ideal, right? This is the most ideal place. Being 25 years old, you had your first child, right? you had your first child, you got a house, right? Because you want to go out and get a house, right? Y'all probably gonna have at least 2 cars, minimum, right? Because both of y'all got to go to work, things like that. Now, let's just say they make $50,000 a piece, right? Both of them make around 50 grand, right? Because they college, they should be making, you come out of college, you should be, that's what they want for real. When you come out, right, you want to be making that bank. Look, you done got your degree. That's the dream they sold me, was the fact that if I get my degree, right, it's going to be smooth sailing from here. That's what they said, right? And I met a guy last night. He told me he had over $100,000 student loan debt. Oh, Lord. Catch me. I just couldn't believe it. I said, so are you working in your field? He got his master. So, of course, that's 2 at least. That's right. And they use it. And they ain't get, exactly. It's depending on where you go. That's right. That's right. Right. So let's get back to this. So let's talk about this real quick. Right? 25 years old, they both made $50,000, 1 child, got a house, got 2 cars. Now, when we start off life like this, what do you think your most valuable asset is to your family? House, okay. What else? What is your most valuable asset to your family? You? Okay. Who else? Okay. Insurance. Okay. Who else? Who else feel like that? Right. Your ability to make an income for your family. That's the most important asset to your family. So Tristan, perfect. Right? It's you. Your ability to bring that money in, right? So, no matter how you do it. So now let's talk about that. Let's talk about the 9-letter cuss word that nobody want to talk about. Insurance. Right? That's what they don't want to talk about, right? So, we got this scenario. How much insurance do you think this family needs if you're calculating that? They 25, they both made 50 grand, they got 1 child, they got a nice house, 2 cars. How much do they need? Let me show you something. If they plan on working for, what's the average retirement age? 55, 60? Most people say, right? Practical, 55, 60. Everybody want to retire 40, but but let's just say they work for 30 years. How much insurance do you think they need? How much you think? Just I know you probably don't know the answer. That's fine. I just want to help you guys guide you through this. Need $250 a piece. Good. That's a good answer. Okay. You think of me? Okay. Who else? $250 on me. I got $250 on me. Go on with it. $250 on me. All right. So guys, if you calculate this is how you come up with how much life insurance you need, and you can do your own like this too. Whatever, by the time you get to retirement, that whatever income you're making for that, your annual income, you multiply that by the time you want to retire. Just saying it's 30 years. So 50 times 30 is $1.5 million. So that's how much life insurance they need. Right? They 2 different incomes, right? So how do I calculate that number though? How do you think I calculate that number? Let's talk about that. I want you guys to understand this before I go. How do I calculate $1.5 million? How did I get there? I know I got 30 years up here, but why did I say 30 years, and why do you feel like that's important? Why do you think that? Okay. Well, kind of, sort of. Yeah, that works. But kind of go into that a little bit more. Kind of go in depth with that a little bit more. Why would you say that one?
Income you're gonna need is something. It's gonna need to sustain you if something should happen to you after that point.
Right. if I live 30 years, I'm going to make $1.5 million. This is how we shortchanging ourselves. Let me show you a little scenario here, right? Every last one of y'all got a car, right? Got a car. I guarantee you, you probably pay over $100 in insurance for that car. Easily, right? Now, and you ain't got to tell me, but think about how much your car is worth. Think about it now. I just want you to think about how much your car is worth now. Think about how much your car is worth. So let me show you something. We'll go pay $100, $200 on car insurance. And the car, let's say the car is 15 grand. But we won't spend $100 on $1 million worth of insurance on our family, for our family. I've talked to several people and say, $100? That's too much. $100. $100.
The younger you are when you get it, the less expensive it is.
That's right. So let me show you something, right? I'm gonna show you the insurance game too. I'm gonna show you how to beat the insurance game. All right, here we go. We got $1.5 million here, right? On a guess, on average, how much you think that policy costs for that family? How much you think it might cost? 25 years old, maybe 100. Okay. $20. Okay. Jesus, giving it away. You say $225 a month? Okay. About $200 a month? Okay. All right. Anybody else got another gift? Okay. Okay. That's right.
It depends on what kind of policy you get too.
Right. So, all right. So let's talk about this. No, this. So. She said a full package. She said full package. Now let me show you something. You can get a term policy for $100. Right? $100. Whole life you're gonna pay anywhere from $800 to $1,000 for the same policy. Show you how to beat the insurance game, right? It's not if you die. It's when you die. You understand? You ain't guaranteed to have a car accident, but you will pay $100, $200 for car insurance every month religiously, and think nothing else about it. But you won't pay your insurance. I don't get it. I don't get so this is what I'm saying. The value of this, right, is way more profitable to your family than that car is that you religiously pay. This is what I mean by management and your attitude toward managing your money. See, we was taught, of course, to go get whole life insurance, right? Now, this is what happens in our families. If I show somebody this whole life policy, they got to pay $800 to $1,000. Guess what they're gonna do? Heck no, I'm not gonna pay no $800 for no insurance. Is you crazy? So this is what happens in our families, right? They go get the small little $25,000 policy, and they pay $100 for that. They'll go get this $25,000 policy and pay $100 for the rest of their life. Because they said whole life insurance, got a savings account to it. Oh, this just sounds exciting. I can borrow that thing. But ain't insurance. Right? So if you got car insurance, ain't it term? If you got renter's insurance, ain't it term? So why would I want to go, and if I go through all the calculations, show y'all how big a ripoff this is, it's crazy. But why would I want to go, and what is $25,000 going to do for my family, first of all? Let's talk about that. So is that good stewardship? So this is what happened. I'm going to show y'all a scenario. This is what happened. Very, very simple. It's not a racist statement or anything. White man comes to your house with a briefcase and knocks on your door. Is that right? Hey, I got some whole life insurance I want to sell you. Baby, I just think you're going to be the greatest. Let me get your routing account number right now. 25 grand. Go around our neighborhood, knocking. Hey, I got it. Every month, he at the door. Then he'll come over at times and grandma want to give him some dinner. Well, go and get you some dinner in there because you got her. Take care of the insurance man, right? Right? So let me tell you this. And like I said, we're going to fast forward and move on. If something was to happen, do you want your family to decrease, stay the same, or improve? You want your family to improve, right? Generation to generation want to improve. So how in the world is me leaving my family 25 grand going to improve their lifestyle? If I would have lived, I would have made $1.5 million. So why would I want to do that? Why can somebody sit down and sell me that if that's the plan for my family? How can somebody sell you that? Now, keep in mind, I understand this is a practical scenario. This is not everybody's situation, right? I get it. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, if you understand what you're getting yourself into, you can make an educated decision for your family and make the best decision for your family. We don't want to take the time out to do this, so we're just continuing a cycle. That's why this room ain't full. I want you guys to understand that. I never ran away from getting educated about something. I never ran away from that. That's one, I think that's, God just blessed me with that. I always wanted to learn. I don't care what it was. I wanted to learn about it. Now, if it's a bowl of crab, I can say that, right? It's okay. I mean, once I see it, though, right? Once I see it. Now, if I ain't seen it, I can't really have a judgment on it, right? So once I see it, man, that ain't nothing. Just like y'all know, if it ain't hitting on nothing, you can say that, right? After you done seen it. But if you hadn't seen it, you really can't say nothing. Y'all understand that? So this is what I'm saying by a practical case. Now you guys put your own in this perspective, right? I want y'all guys to do your own. And you put it, whatever your income is a year, you multiply it by the time you want to retire. Right? That's how much coverage you should have for your family. Understand that? Right? So, when you do that, you be able to customize a plan for your family, and then you put the plan in place. Now, let me ask you another question. Why do you think you need life insurance first? Because I didn't understand this at first. I was like, just do my 401k. I don't need no life insurance. Why do you think you need that? Why do you think that need to be the first thing that you build and block that you have? If y'all on this page, that's why I'm at. I'm sorry. I didn't tell y'all I'm on this page.
Life insurance in case something should happen to you, that's going to remove that income for that house. And with the life insurance, you should have enough to sustain your household for that period of time.
That's right.
So they can build it back up.
That's right. So, right, very good explanation. So, the point of us doing this, now, like I said, keep in mind, scenario purposes, this is how it should be. I'm going to ask you a question. When you want to retire, you said, okay, we're going to have $1.5 million to retire, right? Let's say let's just use that. And we retire with no debt. Because you plan on being debt-free, hopefully, when you get by retirement, right? Your plan to be, right? So you debt-free, you got $1.5 million. Now, ask you a serious question. No debt, you got $1.5 million. Do you think you need life insurance at this point? Now, we talked about the need. Do you think you need it? Okay. All right. Now, okay, let's use this. What's your name? Mary. You married? You know what I mean? Date? Anything? Okay, we married today. All right. All right. So Miriam, let's just say Pastor came in, right? Pastor came in and sold us a policy early on, right? When we ain't had no money. He sold us a policy for $80. It's $1.5 million, right? And we getting up here to, I'm retired at the age of 55, right? So now, I get to the age of 58, I die. No debt, our kids grown and gone, right? 58 years old, I'm 58, I done died. You got $1.5 million. Do you think you can survive if you have no debt and I leave you $1.5 million? Good, right? You ain't got no life insurance now. Wait a minute. You ain't got no life insurance. All you got that $1.5 million. Think you still survive? You just got that $1.5 million. You ain't got no life insurance now. You just got this cash money and $1.5 million. Hold on, just think. What you think, Mary? What you think, wifey? Come on now. Right, I'm dead. So can you survive? But do you think I properly prepared you if I left you $1.5 million? That's all I'm asking. Do you think I properly prepared you if I don't have no life insurance and I left you $1.5 million? Right. Mm-hmm. Now go what you were saying, Pastor.
I would say in that scenario, and what I'm thinking is, if life insurance is to me, that we've been discussing, has two purposes.
That's right.
One we haven't even discussed, but one is to sustain the house
Right.
in the event that I'm pulled out of the equation through death.
That's right.
So if I got the money sitting there to cover that, then why go pay unless I'm looking at it from an investment standpoint to grow my money?
Right.
But I can survive if I had 1.5 million deleted and she left here.
Right.
And I got 1.5, I ain't paying no insurance unless I see a need, because I got $10,000 set aside to pay for my funeral.
That's right.
So I'm gonna cover funeral expense and leave a future. If
That's
I
right.
got that, then I'm paying for nothing. Unless I have a financial goal that says
Right.
I need to put some more money back for my children.
Right.
Or
Absolutely.
something like that, and I probably wouldn't go with insurance, I'd go with that.
That's right.
I doubt, and I'm just guessing now, but I doubt that Warren Buffett has life insurance.
Right.
I doubt that Sam Watson had life insurance, because they had the money to bury themselves.
That's right.
Black folk keep life insurance because we ain't got the money to bury ourselves.
That's right. That's right. So think about this now. What I'm telling you guys is to understand the attitude toward making sure you're saving and investing money the right way. If I leave my life insurance is a pile of cash. Like Pastor said, if I got the pile of cash, why I want to pay somebody
To hold my power.
that guy got a pile of cash? When I can take that same money and put more on top of that. I'm already paying, I'm paying $80 for this policy a month. When I take that same $80 and pay on top of that, that's just going to make my nest egg even bigger. You see what I'm saying? See, we got it suckered in to being sold instead of being educated. Now, I'm going to revert back a little bit. The ones who do have whole life insurance, they got suckered into it. The great thing about it is I'm glad they got something.
Yeah.
You got something, right? You didn't just don't have anything, but you at least got something. So what I'm saying is, guys, the strategy that you have, it's more important the strategy than it is the product. Now, let me fast forward on to this. You ever heard of annuity before? I just had a meeting with a guy today at Martha's place, one of my vendors. You take that $1.5 million. If you calculate it out, that's almost $3 grand, maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe like $3,500 to $4 grand a month, guaranteed for the rest of your life. Maybe a little bit more. I might be calculating that. Yeah, it might be around 5 without me looking at my calculator. So $5 grand a month guaranteed for the rest of your life. Right? Now, talk about generational wealth. You take the money, if you died in that space, you still leave her, right? If that's the case, you still leave her what's inside of that annuity. So she can still take on those payments if that was a choice. So she can still take on the $5-6 grand that you're paying, she can still take that on. And guess what else you can do? if you don't need the money, you can reinvest that money into kids' education fund or something like that. Now, how many of you knew that? So how you know to do that if you don't know to do that? This is, I had a thing the other day at another church. I asked them, I said, how many of you think you need a financial advisor? I don't need no financial advisor. I'm my own financial advisor. I'm my own advisor. I said, okay, all right, let me ask you a question. You know, so I asked a question, but I couldn't answer it. So I said, do you think now, why in the world would you, if you got a car and oil leaking on your car, and you don't know nothing about no car, why would you go in there unscrewing stuff and doing all this if you ain't no mechanic? Why don't you let the mechanic deal with that? It don't make sense. So this is the part we trying to do. We trying to unscrew and do all this type of stuff, and we ain't got no education or information about it. This should be taught in school. This ain't nothing hard. Right. Right? So what I'm saying, guys,
But you know what? It won't be because if everybody knows it.
It's not profitable.
The system will break.
Right.
They got to keep part of us ignorant.
So let me tell y'all another thing. Stop being an expert in things designed to make you fail.
Oh, that's good. Write it down. Oh, that's good.
Stop being an expert in things designed to make you fail. See, this is ruining our communities because we're not questioning the system. Why not at least question the system where it's beneficial for your lifestyle, for your family? I don't want my kids, if they feel like it's something that they don't understand or they want to know more about, I want them to be open-minded and ask questions and say, you know, I don't really understand. I want to know more about that. Right? I don't want them to be like, okay, I'm just going to, fall off this cliff because daddy fell off this cliff. Ask questions, right? I want them to be open-minded and ask questions. And even today, the one thing, like I said, I like learning, I'm always going to continue learning. I always continue learning. I'm always going to be evolving in that area, right? I want to be like that, right? So that's one thing that I feel like is very profitable if we go in that space. So, guys, I'm going to go back to this. We're going to be done. We're going to get up out of here. Fast forward over here to traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs. Go to which IRA do you prefer? And that's going to be our last subject for today, and we're going to come back next week and wrap it up. Which IRA you prefer? Go on. It's a couple more pages. You can go on. A couple more pages. It's you got comparing tax treatments at the bottom. Comparing tax treatments at the bottom. We're gonna go. All right, y'all got it? All right. So it's two type of IRAs. Now, if you want to know how to start investing money, saving money, I already told y'all to go on the budget and budget that out. I want to challenge you guys to do that. Budget it out, whatever you have. Whatever you think that you don't have, I still want you to budget it out. Because I know you probably thinking, well, my job don't pay me enough and I just can't budget and I'm still going to spend and X, Y, Z, right? Now, I could go into other things because I do have other experts that help me in health as well, teaching about how to meal prep and all that type of stuff. I think that's important. Saving money in groceries and all that type of stuff, I think that's very important too. But the reason I'm going to leave off on this because I want you to understand, and I'll get to the college funds and all that type of stuff. But have you guys heard of IRAs? Individual retirement account? So the thing about it is, I had never heard of one. Before I started in financial services, I never heard of an IRA. Didn't have a clue. Didn't know what it was. Didn't know it existed, anything. So at the bottom here, you'll see you got a traditional and a Roth IRA. Now, a Roth IRA is one of the greatest things that existed as far as investing because it's tax-free. It's three things that you want to steer away from. or you want to get better at, you want to get expert at. Inflation is one. Taxation is another one. And market fluctuation. That's another one. You want to learn those, right? Because they're very, very important to what you're putting together. So, what I'm saying is, when you got this traditional Roth IRA, traditional, you can put now. This is from last year, so this ain't. You see, it says 2018. So 2019, they upped it to $6,000. So you can put $6,000 of your money inside of this, right? So $6,000 you can put inside. So that's what, $500 a month, basically. All right. Now talking about deductible and non-deductible. If you're not getting a tax return, you can file it on your taxes if you're a traditional IRA. Right? So if you own a business, if you're a business owner, you need to get you a traditional, or you get you what they call a step IRA. Now, I'm just gonna give y'all this nugget just because I think this is powerful, especially married couples. If you own a business, you can put up to 52. I think it's this year is 50. If you get a step IRA, it's like 55,000 a year inside of it, right? So if you made for 4 years, I'm calculating this. If you can survive off each other's income, let's say one other income, right? If you make 50,000, you make 50,000. You can actually store away in 4 years. You have $200,000 saved if you own your own business. Another side note: the tax deductions, the tax codes was built for business owners. You need to own a business. You need to get an LLC. Everybody, every black family need to have an LLC. You need to have a business. The taxes, the way it's set up, is for business owners. Honestly, he just doing what the system allowed him to do. He mastered the system to get ahead. That's it. It's the law. It ain't. This is what was given to it. He just using it. I'm gonna be honest. They ain't bad for doing that now. I'm just being real. We just the ones that not trying to learn it, right? Because our vision on business owners has just been negative, right? But they the ones making the cake. Got the check. That's right. You know what I mean? All right. So go on down. So and say tax deferred. You know, of course, it's tax deferred. So and it's tax free. So what this means is you can actually defer your taxes inside of it and then take it out tax free. It's just a Roth IRA, tax free. So you avoided the taxes, paying on that, and you get to take it out tax free. So everybody need to have a Roth IRA. Now, how much you think you need to start a Roth IRA? Yep, that's it. $25. Ain't that something? So imagine getting